The August primary election is 1 week away, and one of the big races in St. Louis is Missouri's 1st congressional district, with the U.S. House seat up for grabs. Incumbent Cori Bush, you see there on your screen, running for 2 more years. She's being challenged by St. Louis County Prosecutor Wesley Bell, and tonight I'm joined with Wesley Bell in studio. Thanks for making time to sit down with us. I want to start right in. What is your top priority if you're elected to represent St. Louis and Washington, D.C.?
This district has a lot of issues that we need to address. We need to address our public safety. We need to make sure folks feel safe. We need to make certain that we're attracting jobs and job opportunities, because we're losing our best and brightest. And we need to codify Roe versus Wade and ensure that women have their rights, the autonomy over their bodies, which includes an abortion. There's so many things that we need to address. Access to quality and affordable health care. But we've seen population, we've lost population in the city. Numbers came out that we're losing population in the county. We can keep doing the same thing and hoping for a different result, or we can get representation in D.C. that's going to actually bring results for this district.
A lot to tackle in a first term, and that also includes violent crime. As a prosecutor, I do want to ask you, where do you stand on criminal justice reform?
Well, obviously, I've been part of the lead of leading in this region on criminal justice reform. We aggressively expanded our diversion program so folks struggling with substance abuse and mental health and opioid issues are able to get the treatment that they need. And for serious and violent offenders, obviously, they have to be held accountable. But there's a large bucket of folks who just need help. And we've been able to do that. We created a conviction incident review unit, just like with Mr. Dunn, who's going to be released soon. There was an individual who had been wrongfully convicted 20 years ago, and in our work with some of our partners, he is free today. And so there's just, you know, I'm really proud of the men and women of our office and the way that we've really tackled that criminal justice reform as a Ferguson City Councilman, bringing body cameras, court reforms, and community policing. So there's a track record of doing that, working with others. I'm proud of that record, and that's what you can expect from me as the next congressman.
In the last several months, we've also seen some activity on our college campuses. I want to ask why your office did not choose to prosecute those who protested on Washington University's campus. Some were arrested, some for assaults to police officers.
Well, we didn't get any referrals to prosecute. My understanding is those cases were sent to the municipal courts, which are the discretion of the local departments. Now, we do believe that folks do have a right to enjoy their First Amendment rights and be able to speak on those issues, universities are supposed to be a place of free and fair exchange of ideas, but they are not. You do not have the right to threaten folks. You do not have the right to destroy property. And when folks cross that line, they're going to be held accountable. But in this case, our office has not received any recommendations with respect to those protests.
Something I want to ask you about is something that we've learned the last couple of days here, including Cori Bush staffers claiming that you said that you would not run against her last summer. Yeah. Now there's audio recordings we know about. Why did you change your mind, and can voters trust you?
Yeah, well, in June, I think we've talked about this ad nauseum. In June, I was running for the Senate. I had no intent of running for Congress. And I've talked about that. And when I did announce that I was running for Congress, I answered this question. When I got around not only this district, and folks in the district were imploring me to run for Congress, but also nationally. Folks in D.C. are telling me that, you know, not only is the Congresswoman not doing a good job, but she's not working with folks, and she's not, and it's hurting the district, because we're not getting the resources here that we could if we had a Congresswoman that works with her party, that works with the DNCC, that works with the Black Caucus, and reaches across the aisle. And that's not being done. And so, you know, I changed my mind. And in this case, I changed it for the right reasons, because, again, this region is dying a sleeping death, and we can't have someone up there that's just on their own agenda. We need someone who's going to do the work of this district.
So let me ask you a follow-up to that question then. So what does St. Louis gain if you are able to defeat Cori Bush with your decision? Would it not have been better for the St. Louis region if you could have successfully defeated Josh Hawley as you originally intended?
Well, we have some great candidates that are running against Josh Hawley, because we do need to defeat Josh Hawley. We have the state senator, Carla May, as well as Lucas Coons, both who are running very competitive campaigns. And so that we have some folks that are doing that, but we have a problem right here in this district. The #1 killer of young black men and increasingly women is gun violence. We need common sense gun safety laws. We have some great educational institutions, and we have some struggling ones. And as a former educator, our best and brightest students were often looking to leave the region because they believed that there were better opportunities in other places, and we got to turn that around. And so as the Ferguson City Councilman, I got folks working together to bring, again, body cameras and court reform and community policing. And as the county prosecutor in a place with 88 municipalities and 55 police departments, you can't get anything done without working together. And we need more of that in D.C., and that's what I've done, and that's what you can expect from me in D.C.
I think everyone can agree the gun violence needs to go away.
Absolutely.
I do want to ask you about funding surrounding your campaign. Cori Bush making claims that you're backed by Republican donors. Curious how you respond to that.
You know, it's interesting to me that some of these same donors are folks that she went after and got donations from in her previous elections, and now that she's not getting that support, sounds like sour grapes to me. The bottom line is folks know what they're going to get from me. They know what I stand for. They know that I stand for reproductive rights. They know that I stand for common sense gun safety laws. They know that I stand for criminal justice reform. And anyone who supports me, that's what you're going to get. And when we look at the political gridlock in D.C., folks are tired of that and nothing getting done. And so we need folks that are going to go up there, work with their own caucus, but also, when appropriate and when possible, reach across the aisle, work with folks, build coalitions, and get things done. I have a record of doing that, and that's what I'm going to do in D.C.
The conflict between Israel and Hamas continues to make headlines. PACs aligned with Israel have spent millions to help your campaign. Can you be an independent voice on this Israel-Hamas conflict? I
think I have been an independent voice. I believe that it's important that we stand with our democratic partners. I think World War II taught us that. To avoid these broader conflicts, we have to stand with democracies. With that said, we don't want to see an innocent Israeli or innocent Palestinian harmed, but we have to stand against terror states, and in no uncertain terms, Hamas is a terror state. They fire thousands of rockets into Israel every year. And so anyone who tells you they know what peace in the Middle East looks like, they're lying. But any map to a peaceful resolution cannot include terror states. And I think that we all want to see that, and we all want to see the hostages returned home.
As we have a couple more questions, but we have run out of time. I want to say, Wesley Bell, thank you so much for making time for us tonight. And I want to remind you at home, watching wherever you are, you can watch all of our interviews with our other major candidates, along with our ad fact checks and ballot guides. You can find all of that inside your First Alert 4 News app.